Welcome to the first Mountain Leader Reacts video. If you don't already know me, I'm Ben, I'm a UK based mountain leader and this is Summit and Beyond. Just before I get started, this is about the rescue that happened on Christmas Day 2020. I just want to say I'm speculating that Mountain Rescue and the media don't give a lot away. The media anchor onto the negatives and Mountain Rescue only give you the bare minimum of information. So I can only speculate on what information's there. What happened? Real quick breakdown of what happened. A guy goes out on Christmas Eve to find Priest Hole, little cave above Dove Crag. He's going to sleep in there and wake up on Christmas morning. He can't find Dove Crag, so must have got dark, so he decides to try and sleep under a boulder. He gets up in the morning. I can't imagine that he slept very well because it was absolutely freezing. He gets up in the morning and he can't move his feet, can't feel his feet, can't move his legs. So he phones Mountain Rescue. Mountain Rescue get the call at 8:45. They go out, they find him. It takes them 6 hours to wheel him, to stretcher him off the mountain back into the valley, where he's then taken off to hospital. Mountain Rescue then respond to this. I believe they put a post out on their Facebook page, basically having a little bit of a rant, saying it's Christmas morning, we've had a tough year, and we prefer to spend that morning with our kids and our families at home. But they did go out and do a really slick rescue. We'll sort of delve into that a bit in a minute. But first, I want to just look at the walker, the person who initially made the mistake, which ended up with Mountain Rescue needing to go out. So I've read the article in the Mirror. It says, man saved in 6-hour Christmas Day rescue in Lake District after botch wild camping. Like typical tabloid media. I imagine if that guy's reading that now, he will be feeling like hell, man. Like, why do that to somebody's brain? It's horrible. So Mountain Rescue have a dig at him, which they've now removed, and then the media have a dig at him, push, like this, and then quote in their little thing saying that Mountain Rescue spokesman said, I'd rather be with my kids. Anyway, we'll come back to that. So what went wrong and what could the walker have done better? Firstly, planning. He obviously didn't know where Priest Hole is. It's not that hard to find, but you kind of have to either be, if you've never been, you have to be proficient at navigation to get yourself up there, or you need to have gone and seen it before, and then you can get up there. So navigation is a big one, and I'll come to another reason why navigation was a big problem in a second. But his planning wasn't good at all. It's very unclear what gear he had with him, but it says that he slept under a boulder. It sounds to me like if he woke up with numb feet, and it was very cold on Christmas Eve, especially in the Lake District. I went out on Christmas Day, and I went up onto Scarfell Pike for sunrise. It was cold, but I'm going to make another video about that, and I'm going to explain what kit that I took and my thinking behind the gear that I took out with me. And also I'm going to be honest with you and explain where I came up short with my planning and where I kind of failed with my planning in a sense. So that video, I'll do that video soon. So he didn't make it to Priest Hole. He slept under a boulder. He woke up with he couldn't feel his legs and his feet, according to the Mountain Rescue report. that suggests to me that he didn't have shelter, something to get in, like a tent or a tarp or a bivvy, and it suggests to me that he didn't have sufficient gear, like a 4-season sleeping bag, which you need in this weather. He slept under a boulder. When I think about where Priest Hole is, it's above Dove, it's like in Dove Crag. Now if you make your way up onto the top, well, on par with Priest Hole, and you follow the path, it becomes like just your average grassy topped Lake District fell. Now, and then it's got this sheer crag face, Dove Crag. Now, the boulders, the only boulders that I can think of that you could weasel into are down at the bottom of Dove Crag. So that suggests to me that he didn't find the path and he found his way to the big boulders at the bottom, and then decided to sleep there. Why he decided to sleep, if he didn't find Dove Crag, why he decided to sleep in the boulders and not go back, I can't understand that logic. The only thing that I can think that the only reason that I could come up with why he wouldn't go back is because he didn't know how to navigate back. Another reason I think it was a bad decision to go out is if you can't navigate to Dove Crag and back to Brothers Water, or back to the Brothers Water Inn, which I'm guessing that he came from that area. I'm guessing that he came from Brothers Water Inn up to where he got to, and he was going to head back down that way. He could have come from Ambleside, but that's quite a long walk, so I'm guessing he came from Brothers Water Inn, the car park there. It's not hard to get back down there. You literally just follow the valley. If you're in that basin area under Dove Crag, it's not hard to find your way back to Brothers Water, because that stream goes straight into the lake, and the pub is right next to the lake. Also, like, when it comes down to planning, I think like Dove Crag, Priest Hole at this time of year, if you don't know the area, it's probably not a good idea. I mean, I was up on Scarfield Pike, and heading up there, it was very icy. There was snow on the ground. It was very cold. I think that when you get up to Priest Hole, there's a couple of metre ledge at the mouth of the cave, and if you go beyond that, you've got like, I think it's like 150, 200 metre drop to the valley floor. And it's a sheer drop, like there's no ledge, there's nothing, it's just air until you hit the deck. And that's, in snow and ice, it's not somewhere that you really want to be scrambling about, unless you've got like the correct tools to get up there. And from speculating, from what I'm reading, this guy didn't even know how to get there, never mind have the right gear to keep himself warm and safe. So how he was going to get to Priest Hole once he sort of got to the approach to the cave, which is quite gnarly in these conditions, very gnarly in these conditions, I'm not sure. So the whole thing, when you look at it and you pull it apart, obviously didn't know how to navigate or have the correct tools to navigate, didn't have the right gear with him, hadn't planned his route thoroughly, didn't know where he was going basically, and hadn't taken the conditions into consideration whatsoever, because if you didn't know how to navigate, you hadn't got a thorough plan, and you didn't have the right gear to keep yourself warm, you definitely wouldn't go to Priest Hole. It doesn't make any sense. So then if I move on to Mountain Rescue's response, and you think about 2020 and the year that they've had when the first lockdown happened, and they were just constantly out, people were setting fire to things, people were trashing the place, abandoning camps. And what became apparent from all these instances during the lockdown was that when you lock people down, when you tell them that they can't leave the country, all of a sudden they stop looking to get the whatever in a sunny climate, and they start thinking, where can I go in the UK where I can have my escape? And we've got some beautiful places, and the Lake District is one of those places. Lots of people went to the Lake District and trashed the place, and Mountain Rescue were getting called out all the time. And then that sort of settled down. Now this has happened, and they've been called out on Christmas morning. They're obviously having breakfast, opening presents with their kids, and then the bleeper goes off. These guys are voluntary, and it's like they have to go out, and they spend 6 hours stretching this guy off the hill, probably being really nice to him to not make him feel bad at the time, but probably thinking, you idiot, like, why don't you know how to navigate? Why didn't you make a thorough plan? Why didn't you have the correct kit with you? Why were you going to Priest Hole if you didn't? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking like that, so they must have been thinking like that. Then they've gone and they've reacted. They've put something on social media that says basically that they're not happy with having to go out on Christmas morning. And then you get the tabloids jumping on, like the Mirror saying botched wild camping. Now, if I was that guy reading that, having made that mistake, there's a few things that I totally disagree with about that. Is I don't think Mountain Rescue should have said that, for one. I can see the frustration, but you should not have said that. And I'll come back to that in a second. Two, that's gonna potentially damage this guy's mental health now that, like, the Mirror's got on it and that, like, and it is his fault, and he did make bad decisions. But this, coming back to my point about Mountain Rescue not saying that, is there's something that they keep missing. I feel like Mountain Rescue keep missing, and I don't know if it's like something in their contract or whatever as a charity or volunteers that they're not allowed to say it, but education, like, you can't. The reason that people are going out and trashing the Lake District or out at these beautiful national parks, the reason they're setting fire to things, the reason they're getting lost, the reason they're getting injured over silly things like sleeping under a boulder, when I can walk from the car park at Brothers Water Inn to Priest Hole, I can do it in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like, it's not far. It's like it just kind of like, why is that guy not able to make his way back? Like, it all comes down to he doesn't have the skills because they don't teach it in school anymore. It's not something that we want to, in society, we want to give as a skill. We'll tell them that going out for a walk in the wild is good for your mental health, and then we'll say, use what 3 words? It's like, that's cool, man, but knowing how to map read is essential. What 3 words ain't gonna get you to Priest Hole? It's just gonna get you rescued. You need more than what 3 words to be able to get yourself to where you want to go. Education's a big one. There's a massive lack of it when it comes to people going out, not understanding the environment, not understanding how to look after the environment, not understanding what gear to buy, not understanding how to look after themselves, and then just expecting that this rescue service is going to come and get them, and not understanding that these guys are voluntary and they have families and they have, you know, like, it goes on and on and on. There's so many different ways and actions that could be taken to help educate people, rather than just calling them out, getting the media involved and giving them a good beating down when they already probably feel beaten down. All in all, the Mountain Rescue are voluntary. They do an absolutely amazing job, and I've been rescued, and I think that without them it would be horrendous, and I think that people should be pushed to know what Mountain Rescue do, and there should be education around it, around that, which would then lead on to people respecting the fact that these people are voluntary and have families and spend all that time training and being utterly skilled, and then just give the time away to go and rescue people out of the hills. Like, I think it's amazing. So if we educate people about that in schools, and in general just somehow educated people about it, that would push them to want to be more responsible in the hills when they go out walking. That's about it. I'm going to make a video about my Christmas Day adventure, and like I said, what kit I took, how I feel I failed, and what I could do better next time. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this first Mountain Leader Reacts video. I will keep my eyes open on Mountain Rescue, and if something pops up on the Mountain Rescue site, and if something pops up, I will make a react video about it. Apart from that, hope you've had a good Christmas, and hope the new year is a good one for you. In a bit.